Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Got a few things to discuss from a legal perspective having to do with the SEC versus Ripple case here. And it is highly suspect the timing of the SEC investigating Ripple years before charges were brought. And so we've got all sorts of comments from, in this video, from three different attorneys from the XRP community. We've got attorney John Deaton, attorney James Filan, and attorney Jeremy Hogan. And so again, it's just highly suspicious, the timing, the beginning of the SEC investigation into Ripple. Also, attorney John Deaton, who of course is the attorney seeking to intervene in the SEC versus Ripple case on behalf of roughly 19,000 XRP holders, he has something to say about Coinbase relisting XRP, and this is coming not that long after attorney Jeremy Hogan, who runs the YouTube channel Legal Briefs and is a member of the XRP community himself. He stated that Jeremy Hogan does believe that Coinbase might as well relist XRP. And also there's more evidence that indicates why the SEC is going after Coinbase for its Lend product, which offers interest-bearing accounts, while leaving a specific competitor free to offer essentially the same product. So it's another instance of the SEC choosing winners and losers, just like they've done with Ethereum as a winner and XRP as a loser. That is what the SEC is aiming for anyway, but we're counting on the justice system preventing them from making that so. But you won't believe what's going on here. There's just so much to talk about in this video. But I need to stop saying that. You guys have been listening. You're in the know. You will believe it. It's just so absurd that the typical person, when first presented with all the information that you're probably well aware of at this point, would say, that is unbelievable. I do not believe you. It sounds completely unbelievable. But nonetheless, here we are. This is reality. And now I do want to be clear that I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos, but it's just a hobby. I make these videos just for fun. And so here we go. Let's start right here. There's a tweet from an XRP community member, Stefan Huber, who had a query, and he wrote the following on Twitter. Does anyone know when the investigation against Ripple was opened? 2019? ? When exactly? Do you guys have a source? I think I'm on to something. And John Deaton responded, and he simply wrote 2018, as in the investigation into Ripple started in the year 2018. Now, this is where my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Digital Asset Investor, he jumped in here, retweeted that, and wrote, ironically, the same year Ethereum got a free pass. Well, think about that. Isn't that suspicious how this all came together? You had, Ethereum co-founder Joseph Lubin talking about how the SEC was not, I think it was December 2017 anyway. I could be mistaken. Actually, let me take that back. It could have been that, or it could have been right after the Hinman speech. But regardless, Joseph Lubin, co-founder of Ethereum, did end up stating publicly that, among other things, like Ripple, he called it the Ripple token. He means XRP, but he loves to call it the Ripple token because, it's disparaging. That's the reason. And he stated that the SEC is not going to be finding that Ripple, and I'm paraphrasing here, but the SEC would not find that the Ripple token was not a security, the same way that they found that Ethereum was not a security. And so attorney John Deaton then jumped in here and responded to the Digital Asset Investor and wrote, it's worse than that, DAI. I believe Ripple got notice of the investigation shortly before the speech on June 14th, 2018. So let me pause there. He's talking about, when he says the June 14th, 2018 speech, he's talking about when former SEC Director of Corporate Finance William Hinman gave a speech giving of Ethereum just the golden ticket, effectively. It's the Ethereum is not a security speech. That's the date that it happened. Anyway, and then John continues. Shortly means I believe the facts will show an investigation was launched between March 2018 and early June 2018. We need the date of the first email with the draft. And so think about this. We already know that it wasn't just Hinman that wrote this speech. There were all these drafts. There were other people at the SEC that were helping him write this damn thing. And so think about this, is they're deciding, because it's beneficial to the higher-ups at the SEC, like William Hinman, for example. He has clear interest here. They're already planning to give Ethereum the pass, and then at the same time, they're going to go after a competitor Ripple and XRP. That's kind of curious timing, isn't it? And so this is just part of the stuff that they're looking into here. Now, attorney James Filan, member of the XRP community, responded to John Deaton there and wrote the following. The formal order of investigation was issued on March 9th, 2019. I have no doubt an informal investigation was being conducted before then. And I found that interesting because, again, John Deaton wrote that the investigation began in 2018, and here you have James Filan stating that it began on March 9th, 2019, and he has a little screen grab from a recent legal filing. I remember covering this very recently, within the last week or so, indicating that indeed the investigation was launched there, as you can see on the screen, March 9th, 2019. But there's a reason that John Deaton was saying what he was saying. And you can see this. This is where John Deaton shared that. So he responded to James Filan and wrote, thanks, Jimmy. You are right about the informal investigation. What I was basing my knowledge on is from the April 6th hearing when Dugan Bliss said that at the time on the June 14th, 2018 speech, Ripple was under investigation. The timing of this investigation is interesting. And so Dugan Bliss, or he was an SEC attorney. I believe he's no longer with them, right? But yeah, he was a SEC attorney on the case here. And so here's the transcription that John Deaton shared. This is from Dugan Bliss here. About the time at which Mr. Hinman made those remarks in 2018, Ripple was under investigation by the SEC at the time of that speech. So there you go. Like while the speech was being given at that point, that's when Ripple was somewhere thereabout. That's when Ripple was under investigation. So Mr. Filan was certainly correct that it wasn't like a official, but they were looking into this well before that, to the point where Dugan Bliss here, SEC attorney, felt comfortable stating that they were under investigation at that point in time when William Hinman gave that speech. So the timing of this is highly suspect, obviously, as you can see here. And then James Filan, in response to that, wrote, informal investigations can drag out. The SEC digs up as much information as it can voluntarily, and the entity under investigation often cooperates in an effort to head off a formal investigation and then enforcement action. And then he provides a link to something that explains the process, which would be outside the scope of this video, so I'm not going to run through that. But then there's this too, and this is fascinating because, again, the SEC has made it super duper clear that they are stating that there has always been sufficient clarity within the market that XRP was always an unregistered security of Ripple, right? And so the whole time, for the better part of a decade that Ripple's been selling XRP, they've been breaking the law. That's what they're saying. But take a look at this. Here's another piece of evidence here. There's this video clip from October 2nd, 2018, almost 3 years ago. And this was at Ripple's Swell event. And they had on stage a former SEC employee. And he was at the SEC for 18 years. 18 years, right? And here's what was being asked. There was somebody asking the question, do you think XRP is a security? And if you had to guess, what would you think the SEC would say? Now, as I'm reading the answer that he gave, and I did transcribe it here, you're going to hear it word for word. As I'm going through this, just think. It's been super clear to market participants, right? Everybody, the world over, that XRP is absolutely an unregistered security of Ripple. So wouldn't you think that somebody that was at the SEC for 18 years would have known that's the stance? Wouldn't you think somebody like this guy would know that? And not, even if not, because he's at the SEC. I mean, you could also argue, of course, just anybody's supposed to know, the SEC says. But this carries more weight because he did work at the SEC for 18 years. And so here's his answer. as to whether or not XRP is a security. He said rather, I don't think XRP is a security. I think XRP is a currency, and the reason why is when you think about the test that was laid out by the Supreme Court in 1946 in the SEC versus Howey case, you've probably all heard about the Howey test. It's a 4-factor test. Investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits based on the efforts of others. You have to satisfy all 4 prongs. So, if one of those prongs is not there, then you're not a security. So, with XRP, Ripple could go away and XRP would still exist. So, there is no efforts of others in my mind. And so and this is clearly true. Like, again, anybody with half a brain can see that absolutely is the case. It makes no sense for the SEC to go after Ripple. They are not a common enterprise. And even if you could have reasonably argued that back in the earliest days, and that's an if, by the way, even if you could, you sure as hell couldn't argue it today. You definitely, no. XRP, I'm telling you, if Ripple goes away, XRP persists, my friends, because it's useful to people, and there are other developers utilizing XRP for other use cases. It could not be more clear. Now, as far as the Coinbase stuff, let's talk about this. Here's what Attorney John Deaton had to say, and I've actually got a couple tweets from him on this. He wrote, even more alarming is that Coinbase went to the SEC in January of 2019 specifically to discuss XRP and its intent to list XRP on its platform. Coinbase walked the SEC through its analysis of why it believed XRP was not a security. The SEC said nothing to the contrary. And so you got to sit here wondering, like, if it's so clear and the SEC has known that XRP is a security and everybody else is supposed to know it, there's been sufficient clarity, why the hell, if you're the SEC, when you're having a sit-down meeting with Coinbase, you're like, hey, we're going to list this, and you know that, of course, if Coinbase were to list it, this would cause harm to investors, right? More people would be buying and selling XRP, this unregistered security. We don't want that harm to investors, right? If you're the SEC and you actually believe what the hell you're saying, why would you not just simply say, oh no, XRP is a security, or at a minimum, no, we're not so sure about that, maybe tap the brakes? Why nothing to that effect? Nothing. It does not make logical sense. This does not pass the smell test. You don't have to have a legal background to see how illogical this is, though. I don't. It's very clear. And so here's what John Deaton had to say about relisting XRP, and you're going to love this. He wrote, I believe the best move for would be Brian Armstrong, that's the CEO of Coinbase, and also Jesse Powell, I believe that's the name. Yeah, Jesse Powell, that's the co-founder and CEO of cryptocurrency exchange Kraken. He believes Brian Armstrong and Jesse Powell could, best thing they could make is to start trading XRP again. It would be a good legal move and a great public relations move. And then he tagged several exchanges and wrote, and then also we should file an amicus brief. And so my understanding of an amicus brief is that if you file that and then it's granted, then you can be like basically a third party that has some sort of expert information that would be relevant to the case. And so he's recommending that they file that because here's the reality of those, and this is how serious this is. Look, if XRP is a security, then almost 100% of cryptocurrencies are securities. And so if that's the case, like all of these exchanges are in serious trouble. Serious trouble. Like you're talking like the end of crypto, basically, in the United States. Not literally, you'd still have apparently Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yay! That's all you'd have apparently. But they need to recognize this, which is why I think it's time to take this all head on. Like, if I'm them, I say it's time to grow a pair and go after these guys. And I don't say that lightly. It's very clear that they are not here to play nice. They're not interested in truth and justice and what is ethical. Nothing of the sort. This looks like a power grab and a money grab, and I'm disgusted by it. And so if you're Coinbase or if you're Kraken, Like, are you just going to wait for them to sue you into oblivion because all you've been doing for years and years and years is sell multiple unregistered securities, and then you should have known it? Because that's where this is going. You see this, right? This is, in fact, I'm going to highlight, just give me a moment. I'm going to show you that that's where this is going. But first, for those of you that missed it, Jeremy Hogan seems to share the sentiment of John Deaton. I shared this in a previous video the other day, but in case you missed it, it's worth hearing this. Jeremy Hogan tweeted out a couple days ago, "Dear Coinbase, a nifty little litigation fact. It only costs about 10 to 20% more to defend 2 causes of action as compared to 1. Meaning, if you're going to be sued by the SEC anyways, might as well relist XRP and risk taking on 2 lawsuits instead of just 1. Signed, Jeremy." And so, which was an interesting fact. I didn't know that was the case. It's like a volume discount, effectively, right? But at this point, and I'm not convinced that these exchanges are going to actually relist XRP, but if I'm them, I'm starting to think maybe this is back on the table, because you can see, like think about what's happened in all of the calendar year 2021. Like, the SEC is a monster running rampant. It's clear the direction that they're going, even with the new SEC chair on board, Gary Gensler. There are high hopes for him. No, I think that those have all been dashed to this point. And so I'm just thinking, if I'm these exchanges, maybe it's time to reconsider this, actually. Because just sitting here taking a defensive approach, it's not going to protect them. It's not going to cut it. They're going to come for you. They're absolutely coming. Now take a look at this. There is this tweet from Rosalind Layton, who is a writer for Forbes, and she tweeted out, "Why was Ethereum blessed while its rival Ripple was sued? Why does Coinbase get a Wells notice?" So we're talking about the Lend program with the interest-bearing accounts. Why does Coinbase get a Wells notice and Aave gets a pass? And so Aave is a company that is offering interest-bearing accounts similar to what Coinbase wants to launch with their Lend program, interest-bearing accounts. And so why Coinbase, no, SEC says no to Coinbase, but Aave gets a pass? What's that all about? Well, the digital asset investor shared the following. He wrote, "Is this picture becoming more clear yet?" And he shared this screen grab. He Googled who created the Aave token. So it's not even hard to figure this out. And it's somebody named Stany Kolachov, if I'm pronouncing that correct, which I'm probably not, but whatever, don't care. And here you go. The founder and current CEO of Aave is Stany Kolachov. Aave is currently headquartered in London and employs many of the most skillful experts in the cryptocurrency world. Aave was initially known as ETH Lend, or Ethereum lending. In 2017, ETH Lend provided ICO, initial coin offering, and raised $16.2 million in funding. Well, how about that? It all goes back to Ethereum, which gets the golden pass. Isn't that what it looks like? If there's more to it, and it is not what it appears to be on the surface, somebody research and find that, because right now this looks ridiculous. Does it not? Right? Is it really just another coincidence? I find a hard time believing that at this point. And then there's this. Here's the headline from Cointelegraph. SEC chair doubles down, tells crypto firms, come in and talk to us. And you'll see as I go through this, this is what I was saying just a couple minutes ago, and I said, if XRP is a security, then almost 100% of cryptocurrency are securities, and every cryptocurrency exchange in the United States is in serious trouble. Major trouble. Gary Gensler, chair of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, is once again urging crypto projects with securities to register with the regulatory body to ensure that investors are protected. Oh yeah, just let the SEC know, file some paperwork, and if they give the blessing, now we're protected. Oh yeah, that's how this works. Okay. In a prepared statement for his testimony at the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs scheduled for September 14th, Gensler said the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, was working with the Commodities Futures Trading Commission for investor protection in crypto markets. In addition, he hopes to develop a policy framework by working with the Federal Reserve, Department of Treasury, Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, and President Biden's Working Group on Financial Markets. I've suggested that crypto platforms and projects come in and talk to us, said the SEC chair. And check this out. This is the most important part. Coming up here. Many platforms have dozens or hundreds of tokens on them. While each token's legal status depends on its own facts and circumstances, the probability is quite remote that with 50, 100, or 1,000 tokens, any given platform has 0 securities. So, guys, you see what's happening here. He wants to sue all of them into oblivion. That's what's happening. And in fact, and they're saying that there wouldn't be at least, what are the odds there wouldn't be at least one? Just one. By the way the SEC operates, just about all of them, like 100% of them, would be considered securities the way that they're going here. Which is why I'll tell you what, the world of crypto, the crypto community, even the Bitcoin max, like you all better start rallying together around what's going on right here, because it's going to have broader implications for everybody. Seriously, precedent could be set with this. If there's no settlement, precedent could be set with the SEC versus Ripple case. And if it doesn't go well, that precedent is precedent still. So say what you will about Ripple and XRP. You're sitting there feeling all happy if you're an XRP hater. Oh my God, look at the coin and the stupid people that hold XRP lose money because they're bad people and they like that. Yeah, well, it's going to come back and bite you. You should be aware of this. I'm just saying, guys, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here. It's just like uncovering all of this. I never would have get the degree to which all of this runs deep and what appears to be serious corruption. Like that's the optics, and I don't pretend to know for sure, which is why I don't make claims that anybody has explicitly done something illegal. But I just don't see how you could have everything that we've been talking about for almost a damn year at this point. I don't see how all of it could be perfectly legal and then perfectly line up for them so it's so financially beneficial for the people at the top. Like I find a hard time believing that could possibly be the case. I really do. I'll go ahead and wrap up there, though. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.